Hey everyone, we're really excited to be talking about a new minimum health standard that we are rolling out at Beneplan as of May 1, 2021. So I want to talk through what they are and why we did it. But the first thing I want to say is that this doesn't impact premiums at all. So this doesn't change premiums either up or down. It just is what it is. And also there's nothing that you need to do. We're doing all the work and all the heavy lifting on our end, so you don't have to do anything. But what we noticed is that the last year of the pandemic has been really, really tough on people. In fact, I think with so much focus on the virus, we've forgotten about some of the other really important health items that don't get as much attention. We also noticed that we're going to get a lot of backlash with how the pandemic has unfolded, and we just wanted to support Canadians right now when they really need it the most. So before I talk through what the 6 changes are, I wanted to say how we're rolling this out. This new minimum standard of health care within Beneplan is going to happen either if there's a new company that decides to join Beneplan, so a new company will have their policy have that minimum standard, or if there's a company that's already with Beneplan and they want to make an amendment to their plan for any other reason, then that's when we'll include this. So we're not going to do a mass amendment. We're not going to go ahead and change the booklet right away. This also is not going to just happen automatically at renewal. What will happen is if a company asks for an amendment, and the amendment can just be simply, hey, we want to take advantage of this great new standard, then we will make the change. So it's done consciously with advisors and customers in mind. So I'm going to tell you what those 6 items are. The first one is smoking cessation coverage. So if that doesn't exist in the plan right now, we're going to make sure that that's added. The second one is psychology coverage. So psychology, social worker, therapy, psychotherapy, all of that. We're going to put in a minimum of $1,000 per individual in the family per calendar year. We found that right now there's no minimum, so some plans don't even cover it, and the ones that do cover $500. So we're just going to double that, and that's not going to change premiums at all. We're still actually struggling. We're trying to help people use those benefits more. The usage is almost negligible if you look at the total picture. So we want people to use therapy, talk it out, ask for help, and so we're going to go ahead and do that with no premium change. The next thing is fertility coverage. So right now there's no minimum standard to have any fertility coverage in there. So we're going to be providing a minimum of $2,500 per lifetime of fertility drugs. We know that that doesn't begin to start to touch how much money people can spend on these treatments, but we wanted to add something that could be done without changing premiums so that you don't need to make any decisions yourself. You can just kind of run with it. And then what it would do is it would just start the conversation so that you can talk about it. The next thing is erectile dysfunction drugs. We found that erectile dysfunction is actually such a tiny portion of the total. It doesn't impact premiums at all to add it. And we find that you're almost never going to have somebody ask for it because it's so stigmatized, because people are embarrassed. They might call the call center, but they're not going to ask HR for coverage, and HR is not going to ask us for coverage either. We think there's still a lot of bias and destigmatization that needs to be done in this category. But I'll give you one example. You know, if there's a male in their 50s and they've just gone through a treatment of prostate cancer, they might need actually some support. Maybe there's a structural issue, maybe they've had to have surgery. And so we think that men's health is part of health in general. And obviously mental health is important, but I think if you've got some sort of physical ailment that's preventing you from living your best life, then that's going to impact your mental health too. So we wanted to make sure that we had some coverage in there at a minimum to address that as well. Then we have breast pump coverage, so coverage for electrical breast pumps up to $300 per lifetime. And then finally, IUDs. So IUDs are a form of contraception. And so we wanted to just make sure that we're not leaving out other types of people. So people that maybe are choosing not to start a family right now for whatever reason. So we know that the medical form or the medicine form of birth control is covered as a standard, and that's always going to be part of the minimum standards. But we saw that IUDs were not covered as a minimum standard. And so we thought we'd give people the option if they didn't want to take medication. So that's it. Those are the 6 changes. I mean, none of them are going to change premiums at all. We just thought that this is the right time to address what's really meaningful for Canadians. So we want to hear from you. My name is Yafa Sakeja. I'm the CEO of Beneplan. You can shoot me an email at yafa@beneplan.ca. You can visit our website, beneplan.ca, or you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. And we look forward to hearing from you.